Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's an afternoon session, which is always a challenge both for the speakers and for the audience after a sumptuous lunch, I guess. But let me try my best to give you a wake-up call of sorts and keep you engaged and engrossed in this subject that I'm going to talk about, blue economy. And when I was walking in, the organizers told me that I've got to stay within this red circle. Now it's a challenge. And I said, I'm in the habit of occupying the whole stage. And, but I'm a mariner by profession and a naval officer by training. And I'm going to convert this red dot into a ship. Now on this ship, I'm going to sail you through lots of things. And I'm not going to make it a merchant ship. It's a boring ship. I'm not going to make it a warship because I've left the warships behind. I'm going to put you all into a cruise ship. Now this cruise ship, which I'm going to be the captain of, all right, and we will have I'll do the talk, and we'll have a conversation, a dialogue, and I want to add another one called as cafe chat. Now cafe chat, why I have chosen this cafe chat, because there's so much of wisdom, knowledge and experience of the younger generation who visit the cafes and they transact business. In the sense, they enjoy coffee, they enjoy tea, cookies, and you name it, pizzas and etc., who we tend to label them as, what do we call as, not so good foods or junks. But I'm going to push you through a particular cafe chat because some of the things I'm going to talk about, I'm going to bring you back into and make you realize what you're doing. It's not that I'm going to prevent you from eating those, but idea see what it is. And for a brief moment, although it's not a TED format to bring the screen down that side, but just have a look at that slide over there. It's a waterfront. Don't look at too long because now I'm going to do the talking. It's a waterfront. Many of you have been to the waterfront, to the beach, Goa, Bombay. You've walked through this, and some of you were bold enough to go into the water, and there, the beach police will say, don't go that far. We don't know what's there. We have cases of drowning, so stay close to the shore. But you enjoy. You put your feet through the sand and start enjoying it. You feel there's cool water which is coming in, and you feel great about it. And those of you who've been to Mumbai must have visited Gateway of India. And if you're at Gateway of India, when you look in front, you see lots of ships. And if you're really lucky, on the left-hand side, you'll see warships. And if you're really super lucky, you'll find an aircraft carrier, fascinating thing. And right in front of you, you'll see lots of boats. And you take a cruise on that, they take you to Elephanta Caves and etc., etc. And on the right-hand side, you'll see a lighthouse. You'll also see a series of boats, fishing boats coming in and out. And you are sitting there on the parapet and trying to enjoy the sea. We don't know what's there in those boats, in those ships. Who are these guys? As a matter of fact, shipping is a highly globalized world. And in that, cargo is moving, people are moving, lots of things are moving. And when these people are moving, they are generating a certain kind of a business model. In that business model, there is movement of cargo, there's exports, there is imports, goods, and sometimes when you see those big container boxes, you don't know what's inside. It's like finding a needle in a haystack if you want to search for something. Now, if that be the context, there is a certain economy which comes in. That means sea is a medium for economy. And in that economy, you buy, you sell, you transport, and you do a lot of activity of this nature. And in this activity, we call it economy. And these days, we've begun to color the economy. And I'm going to talk to you about blue economy. Why should I talk about it as a blue economy? After all, this is a blue planet. Everything is ocean is blue. But why am I talking about blue economy? Why not just a name for an economy? As a matter of fact, there is something called the white economy. 2 years ago, when I was working on the Arctic, and I went to an Arctic conference, I said, you have a white economy, because the medium will generate an economy. And we being a blue planet, we are talking about a blue economy. But then we have given certain ocean values to it. For a brief moment, just look on the slides. I put a map over there. There are those zigzags running over there. And in those zigzags, these are the routes. These routes have remained unchanged. I'm talking about these routes which were there in the 7th century. And today in the 21st century, these routes have remained the same. There is continuity. And the only change is, those days ships would carry small little things called spices, silk, porcelain. But today we are going to carry iron ore. But those spices and silk were low volume, but high value. But today, I bring a huge 300,000 ton ship and I say, this is it, and say, what is the value? It is so small a value. And while we are talking about this so-called the ancient connections, since I'm in Punjab and Patiala, I want to bring out a word or a very nice vessel called martaban. Martaban, as you all know, is used, but I found reference of martaban being made in the Chinese literature. Here we put pickle or a variety of things. The Chinese would also keep the pickles. As a matter of fact, pickle was so important to the sailors, the mariners, because there was a disease called scurvy. In that scurvy disease, they needed to have vitamin C. And pickle was the answer to it. And they would use these jars called the martabans. So we've had a kind of a maritime economy which has been growing for ages. And today, when we talk about oceans, we talk about ships, we talk about shipbuilding, we talk about fisheries, we talk about cruise, we talk about industry, we talk about wind power, whole lot of things have come in. So what's so blue about it? We refer to it as a blue economy. And the reason was very simple. In 2012, at the Rio conference, everybody said, let's green the economy. Because there's a green wave on. Everything should be green, the fuel should be green, the gas should be green, your car should be green. We were labeling it and starring it. And everybody said, we're going to have a green economy for sustainable development and for poverty eradication. Now, the small island states felt very uncomfortable. They said, what about us? We are also a country. We are a sovereign nation, the United Nations. For us, we have so little of green, but we do adopt green, adapt green. We work with green. But what about green for us? How far we could go about greening? We need blue. Because for them, for small island states or island states, blue is the one, the exclusive economic zone. So they said, we're going to have a blue economy. And it was something which was accepted by everyone because all states, marine or littoral, marine bordering states, always enjoy the sea. We have about 40 plus landlocked countries. They, through an international commitment, they also enjoy access to the seas. So sea is common to them. In that context, we started socializing ourselves, and today we have internalized what is called as blue economy. Now, it's a fascinating thing, but we've now been able to bring into a value. The value of blue economy today is $24 trillion. This is a rough figure. It is more than the sovereign funds of several big countries or financially stable or financially powerful countries. This is the value. But then, when we look at the value, we tend to forget there are ecosystem services of which we have no idea. Do you have any idea that there is seagrass down below which takes in so much of carbon dioxide, which prevents the acidification? And those services we'll never get to know. We have some very interesting figures. 1 acre of seagrass that is underwater generates millions of dollars of eco-services. We have no idea the small fish are eaten by the big fish are eaten by the bigger fish, so there is a kind of a food chain. We have no idea what is the value of those small little fish. So when we look at this so-called, a rough figure called as $24 trillion, that is the value. If that be the value, I think it gives us an idea how rich the oceans are. Why must states invest so much into ocean economy? Why must they preserve so much of the ocean economy? Then there are issues of boundaries, there are issues of disputes. Everybody says, by the way, we do not have fences at sea, but we have something called as borders, or this is my water, territorial water. This is my EEZ, a technical term, exclusive economic zone, which goes up to 200 nautical miles. I go further and I can extend to 350 nautical miles through my continental shelf. This is a territory at sea. And that territory at sea is rich in resources. It's so rich in resources that I am able to generate about $24 trillion of economy. This is a good story, and we are very, very happy about it. There is euphoria about it, that it is rich. When I say India's EEZ, exclusive economic zone, is 3.02 million square kilometers, I feel very rich about it. But then how do I preserve it? This is rich. Preservation is a different issue altogether, which is much more complex. And it was a challenge for me. What is it that I'm going to do? I published 2 books last year. One was Perspectives on Blue Economy, and the other was the Blue Economy, Constituents, etc., etc. And you notice I put a picture and I opened one book. After I had published the book, the euphoria was over. The publication is out, I'm very happy, and I started to reread my book. And when I was reading my book, the question to me was, how healthy are the oceans? Ladies and gentlemen, I don't have a good story for you. It's a sad story. The story in which the oceans, I talked about $24 trillion, but in the same breath I must say it may not be even, it may be even minus $24 trillion. It is weak. It's deteriorating. Why is it deteriorating? Are we got factories at sea? No. Where is the industrial production? On land. This is a big challenge. And with that as the cue, and I realized, what do I do? I have some very disturbing figures. 90% of the big fish is gone. It's not there in the oceans. 10% could go in the next 40 years. By 2050 or 2060, we will be struggling to have fish. It will be difficult. 75% of the stocks are overexploited or depleted. It's moving, the deterioration is very rapid. 20% of the bycatch is thrown back. There is indiscriminate fishing. When you fish, it is not just a fish called A, B, C which will be brought in. There will be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, Z. Variety of fish comes in. Because that's not useful, the fisherman would throw it away. It's dead. Although it becomes a fodder and a feed for the rest of the lower form of, or the higher form of so-called the sea life. But it is gone. Dangerous, unproductive fishing practices are ruining fisheries at sea. Then trawlers pull the nets and they draft out whole where the sea babies are yet to be born. Spawning is still going on. Bad practices. What you see, I'm going to share with you these 3 pictures which are there on the tablet. One is a turtle. It's got a net around it. The second one, there are whales which have washed ashore. The third one is a seagull which is put into a kind of a walking through an oil pollution area. These are disturbing pictures. And, ladies and gentlemen, I have another bad story, and that is marine litter. Marine litter means what is litter in terms of trash that is at sea. We have so much of trash that we are dumping. This last year, we dumped almost 1 truck per minute into the oceans. By about 2030, we'll be dumping literally 2 trucks per minute. And by about 2050, we'll be dumping 4 trucks per minute. All this trash is going into the sea. And they are creating an island of their own. There are 5 islands. We know islands are where we can sustain human life, but these islands are islands of trash. Bottles, plastic, nets. And it takes them ages to deteriorate into so microns that they consume, the fish consume. I don't want to scare you. The fish that we eat, which is coming from the sea, has got plastic in it. It's so tiny that we don't even get to see. Then we have oceans. Plastic could be at stage we are talking about sometimes by 2050, if there are going to be 850 million tons of fish that we are going to draw from, we are going to have almost a similar amount of trash of plastics at sea. And where is the genesis of this plastic? Where does it come from? It comes from here, from land, from us. Plastic is not a problem just on land, it's a problem at sea. And it has a genesis on land. But there is also a success story. I mean, I don't want to paint a picture in which we have problems and problems and problems, but it's the human activity, human intervention. You have a picture of Warsaw Beach, Mumbai. Those of you who have been to Mumbai, Warsaw Beach, lovely place to go to, walk across. And you have a picture on top left. This is the marine litter on the Warsaw Beach. 10 smartarians, environmentalists, and somebody from your community only, a lawyer who's practicing in the High Court over there, went about creating a public awareness. He gets people, everybody involved, and they clean up the beach, the second picture. And this year, it's so clean that turtles have started to come in. It's not a question of point of no return. It's a point of return. We have a point of return. Like climate change, we have to adapt and mitigate. Here, we just have to be precautionary. We can regenerate a certain amount of ecology by following best practices. And here, the problem is just, I'm talking about plastics. When I said I'm going to talk about something cafe chatter, and on the left-hand side, just turn your heads on either side and just see on the left hand, I've got fascinating figures which has come from Ocean Conservancy. If they were to take a sample of plastic, you'll see bottles, bottle caps, plastic. And I remember, you know, when you go to a cafe and two friends are sitting down, they'll say, okay, let's share a Coke. And they'll ask, give me 2 straws. And we take the straw and start using it. We have no idea that it will take literally 30, 40, 50 years before this straw will be really down to its minuscule. We use these things liberally. We have no idea. And I'm also going to disappoint the ladies here. Lots of cosmetics contain very, very tiny particles which are used in scrubs. They're all plastic. And we don't know when we wash our face, toothpaste has a plastic in it, or we have no idea. Because when we use it, we wash it, it goes down the drain, it is going where? The drain into the rivers, rivers into the seas. Similarly, I have a very fascinating cartoon over there. The fish is saying, you're drying your clothes, very good, but do you know your dryer or washing machine, the amount of fiber which has gone in has gone down the drain. There's no way we can clean it up. It is going to go to the river and it's going to wash into the ocean. So oceans, which were we thought the last frontiers of resources, today are really the bastions in those many terms of trash. So what do? My belief is blue economy is rich. It is, you can count in millions of dollars, billions of dollars, but it is absolutely dependent on the health of the oceans. If they are not healthy, there is no more $24 trillion. We can rest be assured. Land-based stuff which flows into the rivers, goes into the seas, settles down there. We have disposable habits. That's why sustainable factor to everything that we do is very, very critical. There's lack of awareness. Till such time I got into this business of reading about blue economy, I had no idea that my washing machine or the clothing that I was using and being washed was sending out so much of lint which is going into the oceans. I had no idea. We have to be aware of it. This is what we need to do. Then, excessive use of plastics. We are told single use, double use, multi-use, avoid. I'm on my 0 seconds, give me 10 more seconds. We got to talk about, when we pick up a plastic bag, we say don't, and don't. And when we look at the sea, because we want this to eco here, your plastic is running into the sea. The fish are most uncomfortable. By the way, even fish may have diplomats who argue their case. And maybe I'm one of them, I have no idea. So what we need, small change can have a huge impact, ladies and gentlemen. Next time, don't take the straw. Drink it out of a glass bottle. It's a small change. People who make the most difference are the ones who do little things. That is the bottom line. Small little gestures, small little ideas, small little changes in habit, they are the ones who are going to make our oceans healthy, and my blue economy will become healthier. Next time when I meet, I'll say, okay, not $24 trillion, I'm talking about $50 trillion, because we've done some amendments or changes in our lifestyles are internalized. We have We are now being socialized. The question is how quickly we can internalize this habit of doing. So blue economy is not just oceans. Blue economy, to my mind, you and I. Thank you very much.